Beer. Beer. It's summer, it's hot. Let's drink some beer. Now, there is a whole world of beer out there. Beer is the oldest alcoholic beverage known to man. One of the beauties of beer, it can be made almost anywhere, by almost anyone. And what's happening these days is this amazing culture, especially in America, just a big blossoming culture of beer drinking. And with that, the more complexity of beer, people treating it like wine. There's beer sommeliers. You go to Boulder, Colorado, to the kitchen, and there's a beer sommelier, great beer program there. Beer served chilled reduces the aggressiveness of the bubbles, but it also increases the enjoyment of it. It also reduces any flavor. You know, when you chill something down a lot, it just takes the flavor right out of it. Now, in cheap beer, that's really good, because if it's cheap beer and it doesn't taste that good, you want it as cold as possible. In fact, if it's a popsicle, a beer popsicle, you're going to be happy. So what I would say with this PBR is enjoy it cold, but it'll also go with a wide variety of things. This beer is not going to compete with anything. It's very low in alcohol, the bubbles aren't very aggressive, doesn't have a lot of depth of flavor. So beers like this will actually go with a lot of different foods. And then when you move down the line, the Stella, you know, even though they're making more of it now these days than they used to, it's still a great lager. It actually has a lightness to it, but a complexity. There's a little bit of character to it. So, you know, that would be a medium complex thing. So, you know, I keep it with light dishes, chickens, fish, shellfish, shrimp. And then you're going to go into the beers that I think, like Hefeweizen, wheat beers, unfiltered beers like that. But these wheat beers, especially the German ones, to me, they have a citrus quality to it. They have a lot of tartness to it. So they are like the perfect fish beer. And I like the refreshing acidity, especially in the summer, especially when it's hot. I love a wheat beer. I like the cloudiness of it. I like the refreshing quality of it. And actually, you can even squeeze a little bit of lemon into it. So going down from the wheat beers, we get into the darker beers, like this Negro Modelo, one of my favorite Mexican beers. It has a little bit of an amber quality to it. Has a little bit more richness to it. There are some caramel tones, or there's some baked tones to it. And this, you know, you're starting to move into the meat and the sausage realm for me. You know, you're going to pair those with that. This Four Peaks Brewery, this is a Scottish ale, and frankly, you know, it has some weight to it, but it has real balance to it. There's a level of crispness and acidity to this one that I actually really like. I love a good Scottish ale, but what I don't like is beers that have a lot of alcohol. They're starting to really push up the alcohol. They're also pushing up the sugar levels, in my view, or things that are incredibly rich and sweet. I can't drink a lot of those beers. Now, one beer that's, you know, good for breakfast, good for dessert, is this Guinness. Don't we all love Guinness? Guinness to me is like a meal into itself. But actually, what I like Guinness for mostly is its creaminess, its texture, its viscosity, the balance of flavor between bitterness and richness. Guinness to me is really one of the standard quality stouts out there. So I'm going to pop this Guinness right now because, you know, hey, it is that time. And we're just going to pour it right in there. What do you think of that? One of the only beers you aggressively pour into a glass. I'm going to see if we're going to make it. Almost. But what I think the most beautiful thing about this Guinness is look at that, cascading. Pabst Blue Ribbon, French fries, Stella Artois, steamed mussels with white wine and shallot, Franz and Connor, pan-seared sole, grilled mahi, and some light summery ceviches. Getting into the Negro Modelos and this kilt lifter, you know, this is where I'm going to go with grilled meats, pork, grilled steak, pork adobado, things like that, a little bit more aggressive. And I think this Guinness, you know, honestly, the Guinness is going to be with stews and rich things, and lamb, great with lamb, awesome with lamb, awesome with tenderloin. And then root beer, well, that's just you and the kids hanging around the pool.